Welcome to Freaky Fauna Friday, where every Friday we take a little time and explore some of the freaks of nature from around the planet we cherish so deeply. So please, jump aboard and let's explore the wilds together.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's great to be back on this wonderful Friday.
Welcome back to Freaky Fauna Friday. I am the great and peaceful Mr. E.
And I'm Jay.
I'm just Jay.
Today. Oh, yes.
As we're preparing for all chaos to break loose, we're literally about 20 miles away. There's a funnel cloud the size of a small state.
Like Rhode Island?
Yes.
It's probably the smallest, right?
I think so. I don't know if any states are smaller.
Pretty sure it is.
But today's freaky fauna is one that's plagued me dramatically.
Oh, plagued you personally?
Yeah, they've almost killed my apples and my pawpaws.
Oh, okay.
We're going to talk about earwigs.
Earwigs?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why are they eating apples and pawpaws? I thought they just eat ears.
You wouldn't, maybe like kids' stories of them like crawling into ears and eating brains and stuff like that. No.
It's true, right?
No.
What?
No. All right. The European earwig. But yeah. Do you have any questions about earwigs?
European earwig? Mm-hmm. Is there an American?
There's 10 native species to the U.S.
Oh.
They can be, benign or even helpful creatures depending on what you look at them, or they can be very, very invasive pests. They eat vegetation as well as other insects depending on the species. But there's also a non-native earwig, the European earwig, that is most European or North Americans will encounter. Oh. So all these earwigs we're seeing are European earwigs.
Invasive guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ugh. So the European earwig is often found scurrying around your basement or in your garden. Literally, at our house this year, we have found so many. The infestation is so bad.
That's not good.
Kurt says the only reason they're not in our greenhouse, because I was talking to him about it, because that's the only place I'm not having a problem with them.
Yeah.
My thought is it gets too hot during the day, so it's like scorching them.
Yeah. He
said it's probably with how close the chickens are to it, that they are eating enough of them when they go to hide. Like they're hiding in the coop during the day.
Yeah.
That he's like, they're probably keeping their numbers down in that little area. So whenever my birds grow up a little bit more, I may let them roam around the yard during the day.
Whole yard, yeah, and just eat everything. Mm-hmm. That's a good idea.
Yeah. The species was first documented in Seattle in 1907. And since then, they're all over the entire continent.
Okay.
They spread very fast.
Yeah.
It's considered a household and garden pest, although the invasive species go. The impact on them is considered fairly mild for invasive species. They're pretty much only affecting backyards, as in they're affecting humans more than they are affecting the other parts of the environment.
Okay.
Because a lot of the plants they're eating are garden plants.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Any questions so far?
So, like most people, or most nature wouldn't notice them being a problem, but to the individual human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first freaky fact for you. They're excellent mothers.
Oh.
Yes, they have. So you know what an earwig looks like, right? For everybody at home, they're a long, thin bug.
Right.
With a pincer on the tail.
Are they a bug?
Yes.
Okay, these guys are a bug.
6 legs. They were bugs.
Okay.
But they have the big pinchers on the tail, which we'll come back to.
Right.
Because you can tell gender by the pinchers.
Oh, it's just on their tail, not on their head?
No, it's just on their tail.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yes, those pinchers are kind of creepy. And they're difficult to find earwigs endearing. But consider this, they are very protective and malicious mothers. They will destroy anything that tries to, as far as they're capable of, tries to get near their babies.
So like a bowfin?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
It's true that they're very rare among insects, especially non-social insects. Mother earwigs carefully guard their eggs, tending them for weeks. They move their eggs to safe spots. So they'll actually, it's very, very rare for insects to do any kind of parental care.
Okay.
I'm not talking about, you kind of find it more in arachnids and stuff like that, like scorpions and tarantulas.
Millipedes or centipedes?
Not arachnids, but they're their own group. But yes. And in insects, it's social insects only. So we're talking ants and bees and stuff like that, where they live in big hives or colonies.
Right.
For a single insect to actually put this much care into offspring is very, very unique among the animal kingdom.
Okay. Among the insect kingdom.
Yeah.
Is that what you meant?
It's animals. Insects are animals.
But you said among the animal kingdom, like the whole animal.
Yes, it's among the animal kingdom, it's very rare for insects to care for their offspring.
There we go. Okay. It had to be
what I said was correct.
Had to all be in one sentence though, so No one was mixing, ideas here.
Insects are animals.
Yeah, I know.
So, but they'll actually pick up their eggs and move them, which is impressive. Even going another step past that.
Well, nothing really does that, right? Especially insects.
And insects, like I said, everything
Very
about
rare.
them is very rare.
Okay.
There's a reason they took over extremely fast.
Oh, okay.
They're really
Oh,
good.
the invasive
Yeah,
guys?
yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Researchers have tried putting small wax balls in the mix of the earwig's eggs. The earwig will initially care for them, but when the scent is wrong, they will be moved away from the nest.
Oh, so they know.
Yeah. So it's not just like they were testing to kind of see how like maybe mindless the act is.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll actually inspect it. They'll kind of care for the egg for a minute, and they're like, all right,
Something's
that's
off
not
here.
an egg.
It's like those birds that'll kick out the other eggs in the nest and put their own
Yeah.
in there and have other birds raise them.
Yep.
Aha.
Earwigs even groom their eggs, removing potential harmful fungi. So that's a big killer for a lot of insects' eggs. Mm-hmm. And they'll actually pick up their eggs individually, clean them and stuff like
Wow,
that to keep
okay.
them safe. They're found grooming not only removes the fungi, but also applies a chemical to the egg surface that has antifungal properties.
Wow.
This maternal care extends once the eggs are hatched. In some species, the mother continues to care for the earwig nymphs and supplies them with food, greatly increasing their chances of survival in the outside world. Like I said, it's almost not unheard of in non-social insects to feed offspring.
Right, like
We
birds.
talked about that in bowfin.
Yeah.
They're one of the few, if only, fish that feed.
Don't they eat
offspring.
get a food ball and then they open their mouth and
The dad will shred stuff in his mouth and spit it into the food ball.
spit it into
the baby ball.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
So they'll actually bring food back, and they'll have different stages of egg in the one nest sometimes.
Really?
So they'll have egg and nymph and stuff like that.
All coexisting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so greatly increase their chance of surviving in the outside world. Most insects stick to their mother until they are molted at least twice. So they've grown 2 times. Even every researching insect or species of earwig has this maternal care. We haven't found any outliers in the whole family group of earwigs.
Wow. Okay.
Although the method of level care does vary, there are some that just do the maybe basic egg care to the more extremes where they care for them for up to 2 molts. But it's on all of them. One species does take it to the extreme, which is the nesting earwig, which is just one of the ones that does it all the time. Yeah, females of the hump earwig guard their young until they are old enough to take care of themselves. Okay, one of those long words. Anthropomorphically, we might imagine that there's some sense of gratitude, perhaps the insect version of a hug to your mother's card.
Wow.
Nope, young hump earwigs get ready to leave the nest by turning their mom into dinner.
So they eat mom. Mm-hmm. I don't know. The mom just takes so much care of the egg, gets you through the 2 molts, and it's like, all right, son, time to go see the great beyond, and turns around and eats you.
Earwig courtship. So how they find lovers.
Oh.
I had a drink of coffee. It's a rather involved affair, including the use of their pincers. According to Living with Insects blog, males use their pincers, called sera, to compete over females. He says the males court the females by tapping and stroking the female's abdomen with their forceps and presenting them to the female. The female nibbles on the forceps, presumably reviewing the chemical sensory inputs to help her decide. So there's little organs that kind of release chemicals on them.
Yeah.
So she's picking off the chemicals off them. But they'll literally hold their pinchers up, pinch and unpinch, and stroke her abdomen with them and show how versatile and how big their pinchers are. Kind of deal.
Yeah.
It's very similar what deer do with antlers.
Okay.
But it's just, it's weird when you kind of think about the insects. Male earwigs have supersized genitalia called vigra. In some species, these rod-like vigra are as long or a little bit longer than the male's entire body, and twice as long as the female's. This suggests that the elongated vigra may be something to do with insemination. With the males extended the vigra, with one species contains a brim on the tip that cleans out rival's semen so that the male can remove the genetic material of previously mated males.
Gotcha. It's like, wasn't it like, didn't we just talk about this with the octopus?
Oh, sorry.
Doing that? Something similar?
There are
Octopus where they'll go in and they'll clean out their, the seam.
competitors?
Yeah.
I don't know about an octopus because
There was-
octopus
There's something we just talked about, but maybe I was thinking the tree octopus episodes.
Was it ducks?
Fresh on my mind.
It
Maybe
was
it's
ducks.
ducks.
It was
Maybe
ducks.
it's ducks. Yeah.
We'll save that for a whole different Freaky Fauna After
Okay.
Dark.
Freaky Fauna after dark.
Because ducks are horrible.
That's a good idea. We should do a Freaky Fauna after dark.
Yeah, because there's like penguins and ducks are some of the worst animals with dolphins, like for just heinous acts.
And hyenas too.
Yeah, hyenas are pretty bad, but not when you compare it to ducks and
Dolphins.
dolphins and penguins. Okay, so about the pinchers. Earwigs are not unattractive insects. They're really not. Look closely. But these pincers, they look like they're more frightening than they really are. Like, they don't really pinch.
Yeah.
It's not like a pincher beetle that
Right.
has the giant forceps that like crush.
Yeah.
They can pinch. A lot of times I've been pinched by them. I've never felt anything. They really don't have the force behind them.
Okay, so they
to
do
really
actually pinch?
They can close them,
Okay.
but they don't really do. There's not a defensive thing. They look more scary than they are.
Yeah.
But yeah. But you can tell the males and females. So females' pinchers are straight. Males have curved pinchers. So you see a bunch of earwigs running around. If they curved, if the pinchers curve out,
Male.
they're a male. If they're straight, they're a female. But yeah, there you go.
Wow, okay. Now I know.
Scents of the earwig. While these pinchers may not bother you, the earwig scents are truly objectable. Not all earwigs do this, but some emit a extremely foul-smelling liquid in a defensive strategy.
Ooh, me too.
When this author picked up some local earwigs, he noticed it's the acid smell on his fingers, not unlike a bad battery. You ever had a battery crack open?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said his chickens don't mind the smell; like they still eat them.
What didn't Ralph Wiggum say? It tastes like, what did he say? Battery. It tastes like
batteries.
No, he licked the battery. He'd say it tastes like, I can't remember. I cannot remember.
So the largest earwig ever was the giant earwig, also known as the St. Helena earwig, which was the largest of all, reaching more than 3 inches in length, including its rather formidable pinchers. That's like a finger-sized earwig.
Looking at my...
I would keep one as a pet.
That'd be neat, but I wouldn't want to handle him.
They're still probably harmless at that size. Anyway, the earwig was found on the small Mount St. Helena Island in the Atlantic, not St. Helens.
Right.
St. Helena.
Right.
It was a textbook example of a well-documented evolutionary trend in species come supersized on islands. And also, sadly, a textbook example of the vulnerability of island wildlife. The giant earwig was not found has not been found alive since 1967. And as the case of many insects, the decline and eventual disappearance was securely noted. But the reasons appear to be usually listed that cause island species to disappear: invasive predators, loss of habitat, and possibly even collection of stones that they offer the earwigs hiding spots. So yeah, these guys just went out the window. But yeah, it was island gigantism.
Yeah.
So islands like to make animals 150 pounds.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is if big mammals, like big animals, birds and mammals specifically, make it to the islands, most of the time they're going to end up being dwarf versions.
Okay.
They're going to be around 200, 150 pounds. Same thing happens for small animals. They grow dramatically.
So it's like the opposite? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
So big animals grow
Get
small.
small get
animals
big.
get big.
Okay.
Like there's an ideal body weight for island life
Well, it makes sense,
for
though.
everything.
Yeah, it makes for everything to balance out. You know, it's a pretty isolated environment, so
Yeah.
it makes sense for those things to fill those niches in different ways.
So there's no shortage of theories of how the earwig got its name, the ear part. The insect's common name in several languages. It suggested that the pincers may look like earrings, while others say that the wings resemble ears. That's the one I always knew.
That's why they're called earwigs?
Well, I could say it's a lot of conjecture.
Okay.
Some people said it's because their pincers resemble earrings.
Yeah.
Some people say that it's because their ears, when they unfold, they do look like a human ear.
Okay.
Their wings, I mean. When their wings are unfolded, they look like a human ear.
Okay.
That's one I always heard growing up.
Yeah.
But
But
it seems like it most likely ties back to a bit of folklore. An old story goes the insect climbing into your ear would burrow into your brain, where it would lay eggs and cause you to go insane.
Yeah.
They thought this was either a folk tale and kind of led to some diseases.
So it doesn't actually happen?
They can crawl in your ear. I mean, they can't do nothing when they get in there. These are mostly herbivores.
They can't do anything, though? For real?
They could chew on you, but not like any worse than any other small insect that gets
crawls-
in your ear.
Okay. I guess, I don't know, just growing up, it was always a fear, like we were taught.
Yeah.
Huh. I just thought it was bad news. Like, if you got one in your ear, like, it's going to be chewing on the inside of your head for a while.
Oh, it's just going to do what any other small insect would do in your ear, kind of deal. But yeah, we don't really know where the name came from. I'm still a big believer that it was their wings. Mm-hmm. But nobody really knows, which is kind of cool for these guys.
Just having that appearance, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Any questions about earwigs?
No, it's pretty interesting. I know now that how to ID them. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have been able to done that before this, so. But I haven't, so I guess I haven't noticed too much, though. I haven't been looking out for earwigs.
They are so bad.
Yeah, I haven't seen them yet. Trying to think what's bad at home bug-wise, but we got those little beetles that freaking eat everything. Those are bad right now for us.
Earwigs have been my worst thing, like my pawpaw trees.
Really?
Yeah, that's what's been eating them.
Gotcha. I wonder if there was some in that soil you had brought in.
No, they've been here in this house forever.
Oh, okay.
It's just the last couple of years they've really been ramping up.
They finally hit that. It's their cycle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for big numbers.
I have to burn everything down.
We can figure out something. How do you get rid of? Is that in there?
So I'm using cinnamon
to get rid of them,
yeah,
or just to deter them.
Deter them.
Okay.
There is now my neighbor's an entomologist, and he told me, and I had not remember the chemical he told me to get from, but he said swears it's a pretty safe chemical as far as for produce.
Yeah.
It's like I cannot remember. It's like a salt for winemaking, but it's also used as an insecticide.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, it's safe for mammals.
Yeah.
Mammals process the chemical really differently than insects do.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that stuff. Like I use Seven Dust.
Seven Dust. I was going to ask about that. Would that work?
Yes, no.
Because they don't really have a carapace?
No, they have an exoskeleton.
Okay.
A carapace.
Yeah.
But Seven Dust is really made for more like bedding stuff and like putting on your plants that are like for outside where it's getting rained on, watered on a lot. Seven Dust is going to keep washing away faster.
Right.
But Seven Dust causes micro abrasions.
Right.
Which causes them to dry out and die.
Okay.
For us, we heal those micro abrasions really fast. When you have an exoskeleton, you can't heal them until you molt.
Right.
So, yeah.
They're pretty much stuck with it.
Yeah. So that's why Seven Dust, obviously you don't want to breathe in Seven Dust.
Yeah.
Like any chemical, you don't want to breathe it. It's different in your lungs, but when it's on your hands,
Different. Yeah.
Because we use it on the chickens to get rid of lice.
Okay.
Because birds have lice that people don't get, but
yeah, you
can get them on you, and it's really annoying for about a day.
Okay.
And then they die because they can't feed on you.
No bird.
Not a bird. Man's not a bird.
Nope.
Heard it here first. So I've been. Oh wait. What's your weekend news? What's your weekend well wishes?
Man's not a bird. Heard it here first. Oh yeah, so. The weather. It's been hot lately. It's summertime, and don't forget to just go out and enjoy some of that sun. Get some fresh sun. Not too much to get burnt, just enough to absorb some of that vitamin D, because 90% of all of us, that's a number I'm making up, but I think it's close to the right number, are vitamin D deficient, especially in this country.
I found out a lot of us are vitamin B deficient, too.
It just seems like we're deficient in a lot of things, aren't we?
So a lot of kids, this is a little side tangent.
There we go.
This is a really long, freaky fauna.
That's all right.
With ADHD problems,
yeah,
self-medicate, and they don't even realize it.
How so?
A lot of people that have ADHD, like to more extreme levels, they drink a lot of energy drinks.
Okay.
Not for the caffeine. A lot of those people are vitamin B deficient.
So they're craving vitamin B?
Yeah, because if you look at a lot of those energy drinks, they have like 4,000% your vitamin B,
right? Yeah,
for the daily use. So that's why a lot of people with like extreme ADHD, and this is, I'm not a medical guy, it's just what was explained to me. They may not like why they have an energy drink and they can study for a test, or why they have an energy drink and they can do something, a task and stuff like that, where it affects me and you very differently.
Yeah,
that's why. It's not the caffeine, it's the vitamin B.
We're getting the actual vitamins that
they're deficient in.
Yeah, needing.
Yeah. So there you go. Get your vitamins.
Yeah, drink water. Don't drink energy drinks, and get some sunlight.
There you go. All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to Freaky Fauna Friday. If you want to help the podcast grow, remember to share and give it a 5-star review.